The parents of intellectually disabled girls all over Australia face an agonising dilemma, the choice of whether or not to have them sterilised. Many believe it gives their daughters a better life, but opponents of the practice claim it's a form of torture to sterilise girls or women without their consent. A Senate committee is due to report on it tomorrow, and whichever way it goes, its findings are bound to provoke a passionate debate. Louise Negline reports.
Eliza.
Eliza Robbins' mother Louise knew she was expecting a baby daughter.
You could give her a kiss. What would you like? What would you like a drink of? I was just... Yeah.
But she didn't know her third child would be born with a high dependency intellectual disability.
Doctors came and spoke to us and they said, we think the baby's got neurological problems. We've done a couple of quick scans and they actually used the term rat shit. We think she's rat shit. So that's when the journey began.
Come on, Lynn. Put the rest of them in.
Now 16 years old, Eliza Robbins is a young woman. When Eliza began menstruating 4 years ago, the family wasn't prepared for the added difficulties and trauma it would create in caring for her.
Whoa.
Because she's incontinent at night, you can put 2 nappies on, but that's not usually enough when you're on incontinent and then you're menstruating as well. So that usually means in the morning that there's, it's a huge mess, and then she's upset. Then she won't get in the shower, and then and she can't stay like that. So yeah, it's quite distressing. Yeah.
Eliza becomes so distressed, she tries to stop the blood flow or finds herself in embarrassing situations after removing a pad in public.
She doesn't like them, and when she sees the blood she can remove her pad and just leave it on the floor wherever she happens to be.
Here we go.
The family considered chemical contraceptives to inhibit Eliza's monthly cycle, but Eliza won't take oral medication and can't have an implant because of an immunity condition. The family believes sterilisation is the only option.
What would be the ramifications for a girl Eliza's age of that procedure?
Well, the gynaecologist said it was quite a simple keyhole procedure. They'd leave the ovaries in, so there'd be no problems with osteo problems later on. It'd just be removing the uterus, and it'd be an overnight stay in hospital. She's quite little, she's quite young, which makes getting over these procedures quite easily.
Here, Eliza, here's your apple.
As it currently stands, the Robbins family would have to apply to the family court in Victoria for guardianship orders if they want to have Eliza's uterus removed.
Is it something that Eliza could consent to?
No, Eliza doesn't understand when to have a shower. Eliza didn't consent to the 38 other general anaesthetics that she's had, but they were all done in Eliza's best interest.
Oh, what?
In there for you?
That's for me.
Like Eliza Robbins, the onset of puberty caused significant difficulties for Sophie Carter.
You like giving her a pat?
Come home, see me, come home.
At that stage, we gave her Depo-Provera injections, which stopped menstruation for about 3 months. So she had those every 3 months. But then, as time went on, we realised that this was probably not a very healthy thing for her to have. It causes side effects. And we weren't prepared to compromise her long-term health just for managing menstruation. So we started to look at other possibilities.
10 years ago, Sophie underwent surgery to remove her uterus after a New South Wales guardianship tribunal agreed that a hysterectomy was in Sophie's best interests.
It really upsets me to talk about forced sterilisation because it sounds like we did something terrible to our daughter, but in actual fact we did it because we love her and we want the best for her.
Sophie's father, who is a leading endocrinologist, says it's so hard to get approval here in Australia that families are going to Thailand, New Zealand or India to get the procedure done.
I think we need to take a step back and not just have an argument about what are the definitions of human rights, and just say what is prompting people to make a massive decision such as go overseas, outside of Australia in other words, to have the operation done. It's expensive and emotionally very taxing.
Disabilities Discrimination Commissioner Graham Innes strongly opposes any moves to relax the restrictions on the sterilisation of women and children with disabilities.
Sophie, what you've done?
It's a basic human right, and it's a basic question of bodily integrity for women and girls with disability, that these procedures shouldn't occur unless a person gives free and informed consent for it to occur.
Graham Innes has told a Senate inquiry that allowing sterilisation of women and children without consent is a form of torture and should be criminalised.
The Commission's view is that we are not currently complying with human rights obligations. The Commission's submission to the inquiry indicates that in order to do that, we ought to ensure that coerced or forced sterilisation of women and girls or of women with disabilities should only occur with their free and informed consent, and of children with disabilities, and for that matter of all children, should not occur at all.
And if they can't give consent?
Then it shouldn't occur unless there's a life-threatening emergency.
Some parents of disabled girls agree with this view. Katherine Knight says she would never have contemplated the sterilisation of her 23-year-old daughter, Amelia.
As you can see, she's a lovely young woman. Her bodily processes that are part of her femininity are part of her identity. And this is a really important part of who Amelia is. She is a person, a woman, and her disability is far lower than either of those two aspects of her identity. So just as her sisters have grown into womanhood, so has Amelia. It's a different kind of womanhood.
Sterilisation of women and girls is allowed in all states and territories if approved by a court or tribunal and deemed to be in the best interest of the individual.
Is that funny?
The Robbins family would have to apply to the Family Court in Victoria for guardianship orders to have Eliza's uterus removed.
This is the only option that we have to make any kind of difference to Eliza's life. So I say, don't judge me. Look at us as an individual case before you make any kind of decision, and judge us on what we think is best for Eliza.
Beautiful. Louise Negline with that report.